All right, babes, it's Bimini. Your head teacher's pulled a sickie for Pride Month, so you've got me as your headmistress instead.
Happy Pride, Miss Bimini.
Class rules. 1, be yourself.
Right.
2, mind your business. And 3, stream anything by me, Bimini, available on all streaming platforms now. Welcome to the Queer Academy. Miss, what year is it? Today, I'm here to teach chemistry, which is the study of the composition, behaviour and properties of matter and of the elements of the earth and its atmosphere. But let's talk about sex. How to have it, when to have it, who should have it, why you have it, should you have it, do you want to have it, do you need to have it? When I learnt about sex at school, I learnt how to put a condom on a banana, which in time has served me very well, but we didn't really learn about much at school. We learned a bit about the birds and the bees, but that's about where it ended. And particularly queer sex. I didn't know how to have sex. I didn't know much about sex, except that the first time I did have sex, I used conditioner as lube. Now that is something that I would not recommend, because it burns. Now, queer people growing up, we aren't exposed to sexuality in the way that heterosexual sex is everywhere. Every human has the right to explore sex in a way that makes them feel healthy, a way that makes them feel valid, and a way that makes them feel pleasure. I grew up seeing sexuality everywhere, but not queer sex. We are taught it's shameful, we are taught that it is disgusting and it is wrong, but it isn't. Sex between anyone is the most beautiful and natural act, and we should know more about it in a safe and healthy way. Sex is a natural and really healthy part of life. Queer people had to experience Section 28, which was the erasure of queerness, erasure of homosexuality, and people weren't able to learn about it. You couldn't learn about it in schools, teachers weren't able to talk about it, books were removed that had anything to do with queer sex inside it. The only way people learned about sex was through Madonna, and we love Madonna for it. So due to implications such as Section 28, queer sex has a lot of catching up to do.
Are we going to do the whole birds and bees thing?
So we're not going to do the birds and the bees, but we are going to do the 4 C's.
The 4 C's?
The 4 C's: consent, communication, contraception, and cleanliness. Consent is so important to make you feel safe and to make you feel respected. And that comes across the entire spectrum of how consent can be. So this could be as easy as just asking someone if it's okay, asking if someone feels safe, and that the situation you're in is the most comfortable it can be. And consent also comes down to touching someone's bum without asking, or slapping someone in a nightclub. No. Before there's sex, there's consent. The second C is communication. Now this can go with consent as well. Communication is key. You want to feel the best you can during a sexual experience. You want the other person to feel like that, or the 15 other people that might be there for that matter. This is important for safeguarding yourself and your partner to make sure that you are having the most pleasurable experience that you are, because ultimately, we want to have a good time. So don't be afraid to ask any questions to make yourself or the other person feel more comfortable. Good communication will make sure that everyone's comfortable and empowered, more relaxed and having more fun, which is what good sex is at the end of the day. Any guesses on the third C?
Cleanliness.
Correct. Cleanliness is next to godliness, as Kim Woodburn once said. Now babes, make sure you wash your bits, from washing your hands before and after to avoiding mouth stuff immediately after bum stuff. Sexual hygiene is sexy, babes. If you don't want itchy bits, then you need to wash your bits. And the 4th C is contraception.
Why contraception? Isn't that to not get pregnant?
It is, but it's also about sexually transmitted infections. Within the queer community, from my own experience, I feel like STI conversations are a lot more common now, which is incredible. I feel like we're kind of breaking away the stigma and the shame, and we're talking a lot more openly about it. And you shouldn't feel shame about it. Being open and being honest is the most important thing because it can help prevention and just can make you feel more comfortable in the moment. With an increase in these honest conversations, queer people are being tested now more than ever, so we're being more conscious of our sexual health, and it's so incredibly important to help with prevention and make you feel more comfortable. You should never feel shame about these conversations. But go and get tested, babes. Condoms and internal condoms are your mates when it comes to keeping away from STIs like chlamydia or gonorrhea.
What about HIV?
There is now a pill called PrEP, which stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, that reduces the risk of getting HIV. So if you're having condomless sex or sex with different partners, or your partner has HIV, it'll help keep you HIV negative just by taking a daily pill.
Do you think I should take PrEP?
Well, I'm not a doctor, babes, so speak to your GP or visit a sexual health clinic so they can figure out what you need and recommend what's best for you.
And what if I just don't want to have sex, like ever?
If you don't want to have sex ever, that is absolutely fine and that is your prerogative and you should never feel pressurized into it. Asexuality exists and that is absolutely fine and absolutely valid, and don't ever let anyone tell you different. And if you don't want to have sex for whatever reason, you should never feel pressured into that or find yourself in a situation where you're uncomfortable and it feels out of your control. Remember the 4 C's. One of them is about consent, baby. Don't let anyone force you to do anything that you don't want to. So, what did we learn?
Wash your bits and your pits.
Is that all?
Before there's sex, there's consent.
Very good. Anything else?
Always talk to a professional about sexual health.
Now remember, this was just the basics. To find out what you need, we have a very sexy list of queer sex resources for you to explore and feel empowered in your sex life. Go to the link in the video description for professional resources. Queer sex isn't what you thought it was growing up. Queer sex is beautiful and queer sex is for everyone. Everyone has a right to feel sexy, feel desired, and feel pleasure, baby. Now wait, the bell doesn't dismiss you, the flag does. Next time on Queer Academy, Bimini's English. Now, let's get this cleared up once and for all. When I was growing up, I didn't know where to look. Well, hang on, no, I did. It is, and I've been trying for years. No.
Wash your bits and your pits. Wash your bits and your pits. Wash your bits and your pits. Wash your bits and your pits.
Sexual hygiene is sexy, babes. Unless you're not into that. No.